Hi, my name is Rose Reevely. I'm a Vedic astrologer, and I'm here today talking about the month of September. This is an extraordinary month because we have 4 planets in their home sign, in their own sign, and this gives them incredible power. Now, before I get into all of this, please remember to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, let me start with telling you the planets that are in their own signs. 3 out of 4 planets are in fire signs. And so fire signs are action oriented. They're wanting us to get moving, to do something. They're where we create, and they're where we are inspired to create. So let's take a look at it. The sun is in Leo. Mars is in Aries. I'll be talking about Mars more in just a moment. Jupiter is in Sagittarius, and these are all fire signs. And then we have Saturn in the earth sign of Capricorn. All right, so in addition to all these planets that are in fire signs and the planet in the earth sign, all of this energy, we also have a lot of movement going on in the month of September. I'm going to outline it for you, and then I'll speak on each one individually. Okay, here we go. Mars retrogrades in Aries at 4 degrees, September 9th. This is very important. Then Jupiter turns direct in its own sign of Sagittarius on September the 12th. We have a new moon in Virgo on September 17th at 0 degrees of Virgo. And then we have Rahu and Ketu, the nodes, the karmic nodes, transiting from Gemini and Sagittarius into Taurus and Scorpio on September 19th. Then Saturn turns direct in its own sign of Capricorn, September 29th. Now you can begin to see what I'm talking about, right? Let's begin with Mars retrograding. Mars represents your personal energy, what it takes to get us moving. Without Mars, we would not want to get up in the morning and get out of bed and get dressed and get our day going along. So Mars represents your personal gold. I've written on this quite a bit in the last 10 years, and it really is vital to your health because it is your physical energy. So where Mars is in your chart says what you will go after, what you are passionate. Mars represents our passion. So it says what you are passionate about, and it gives us a lot of clues into where the direction of your life will go because it shows where you're motivated, where you are wanting and desiring to make these goals and dreams of yours come to fruition. So Mars retrograding means that we are not as motivated, right, as the planet of physical energy. We're not as motivated to get up and get things moving along. We're more inclined to procrastinate or put it on the back burner for later. So I'm going to give you some tips as to how to use this Martian kind of energy. Because for Mars rising, Aries and Scorpio, this is a very kind of challenging period because they have to learn how to harness this natural physical energy they have and make it work for them. And so this is true for all signs to some degree. So it's not a good time to start a major project, okay? Because, and remember, Mars is going to be retrograde for about 2 months or until about the middle of November. I'll give you the date here in just a moment. But so it's not going to be a good time to get any major projects or even do it yourself, home projects that you might be working on. You may have a tendency to slow down or even pull back from that project for a while. So Mars, as it retrogrades, brings the energy inside. And so it brings up matters that deal with anger and blocks. Now, anger is not necessarily a bad emotion as we have been told or taught, as long as we know how to use it in a productive way. Anger can actually be motivational if we know what to do with it. So let me just explain. A lower operating Mars, remember Mars is the god of war, but operating on a lower conscious level, Mars will be violent. It will be destructive. It will use weapons to hurt or harm other people. It sets fires. It harms people. And so Mars operating on a higher level, on a more conscious level, is the spiritual warrior. And the spiritual warrior is what we need now on the planet. We need people who know how to use their Martian energy with their thoughts and their consciousness, because it is our thoughts that are creating. And this is a powerful way to use Martian energy. Remember, in the natural zodiac, Aries is the first sign. It rules the head, okay? It rules this area of the head. And even though Mercury rules the intellectual and thinking mind, we still think, right? Our brain is here in our head. So we have this ability to use this power in an incredible way. Now, again, Mars operating on a higher level is going to use its consciousness in a productive way, and I would say even in a peaceful way, because it has a spiritual awareness. Now, as Saturn will be aspecting Mars, once it moves back into Pisces in early October, Mars will be what is called Gandanta. Now, you're probably familiar with this. You've probably heard it before. Gandanta degrees is that it really represents a spiritual knot. Something is tied up into a knot. And so it can make a person feel as if, and this can mean literal and figuratively, drowning, okay? But essentially it is a covering up. It feels like the person is covered over, covered up. So this is a feeling of overwhelming. And so what can we do to alleviate this? So here are a few suggestions to work with Mars retrograde. The first one is so simple, and it is slowing down. Because Mars is a action-oriented planet and it always wants to move forward to produce results, to get goals, we have to slow down. As that energy is pulled inward, we need to take a little more time, because Mars gets in a hurry, and this is where accidents can happen, especially when Saturn is aspecting Mars. So walk more, spend time in nature. Nature is a balm for our soul. If you spend time outside, breathing in the air, and this is all, of course, common sense things, but sometimes Mars wants to get ahead of itself. And with it retrograde, it may try to force and push through that kind of retrograde energy, which naturally is to pull inward. So you see, when you're in nature, you are experiencing the divine, and so this is a beautiful way to get the energy out. Walking meditation is another good way to use this kind of energy, Mars retrograde. Breathing in fresh air, of course, this is pranayama, meditation, yoga, pranayama. Remember that 3 deep breaths always help to clear your mind when you get frustrated, and Mars retrograde can cause frustration. So remember to do things with your physical energy where you work through this with the Mars retrograde. So you're honoring your body and your health by doing this. This retrograde period affects Aries and Scorpio the most because it's the ruler of their chart. It's a little more challenging for Aries because Mars is going back into Aries' 12th house and coming back into its first. And the 12th house with Gandanta is much more challenging than it will be for Scorpio, although Scorpio may have issues and challenges with children, with their everyday routine. So remember to get plenty of rest and to honor your own physical body and your physical energy during this time. Mars is Gandanta, especially challenging October 3rd through the 14th. And then Mars will turn direct on November the 14th. Sorry, it's Gandanta October the 4th through the 13th. And then Mars turns direct November 14th. Okay, Jupiter, the planet, the guru planet, the planet of opportunity and fortune and wealth and prosperity and education. There's so many areas that Jupiter rules over. So Jupiter turns direct on September the 12th. It retrograded all the way back on May 14th. So you see, it's been retrograde all summer long. So Jupiter has rulership of Sagittarius and the sign of Pisces. Now it is retrograde currently in the sign of Sagittarius. And this is a sign that represents our beliefs. When Jupiter is retrograde, we are more cynical about life. We are more pessimistic and non-believing. And even those who have strong faith, even their faith becomes shakeable when Jupiter is retrograde. So the good news is that Jupiter turning direct will change all of that. We are going to start to feel more optimistic. We will start to believe and feel that there is a solution for whatever issue or problem that we are experiencing. Remember that Jupiter is the guru planet, and this is what the guru planet does better than anything, is to bring a light to our soul, to help us to feel better, like everything is going to be okay. And this is such a wonderful and beautiful energy that Jupiter brings, especially turning direct. We will feel more compassion for our neighbors. And this is something we really need at this time on the planet. We will see opportunities that maybe we haven't seen before with Jupiter retrograde. And so remember that Jupiter is the planet that brings the opportunity for us to make the wealth, for us to create our fortune. And so we're choosing this every moment in reality. We do choose this every moment. So our optimism is restored as Jupiter turns direct. People will begin looking for more spiritual and alternative solutions. This is really important. They're also going to be looking for more alternative sources of healing. I'll talk about that with the Virgo new moon. So this area of mind, body, energy work is going to continue to move forward, to get more strength, to become more empowered, especially with issues that are connected to our health, which, as you know, the virus has brought a new awareness, a new level of awareness to. Jupiter helps every sign, especially Sagittarius and Pisces, since it is their ruling planet. The next movement is the new moon in Virgo on September 17th at 0 degrees. Now, Virgo in the natural zodiac it's the sixth house of the natural zodiac. And so Virgos are always concerned with healing. That is their main mission or service in life, is healing. And so the star that the new moon falls in is called Uttara Falguni. This is a beautiful star because it's a star of patronage, and it represents compassion for humanity. I've talked about compassion quite often in when I spoke at a conference, and even in some of my articles, I talk about compassion. So this is something we need to experience now. All of the healing arts are highlighted in this star, and that's what makes it so beautiful, because it is a star of helping. It is a star of friendship. It is a star of reaching out to others who might be in distress, who might be suffering now. And we know there are many. We know there are many on the planet. So Virgo by nature loves to serve. They are natural at this. And they love to help humanity. So because this sign is ruled by Mercury, we become mentally more aware of our health and what we might do to make ourselves stronger, to maybe develop a stronger immune system. Again, the emphasis here is on mind-body energy. Mercury rules the intellectual thinking and analytical mind. And so here in Virgo, it is really powerful because it rules Virgo, but what it does is it gives us the level of understanding that we are in charge of our health, that we can take a power and a stand to make ourselves healthy. So pay attention to your intuition as you will. A new moon is always effective for the next 30 days until the next new moon. So you're going to see a lot of information come out about health and ways to strengthen your immune system. These will be alternative mind, body, energy ways to heal. Okay, the next one is Rahu and Ketu. This is really, really big because the karmic nodes change signs about every 18 months. And so with Rahu and Ketu, they have been traveling through really the most treacherous sign of the zodiac in that during 911, we had Rahu in Gemini, Ketu in Sagittarius, and then most recently, of course, as everyone knows, with the virus, the COVID. So I hesitate to put the name to the virus because I do not wish to empower what it stands for. So that is why you'll hear me refer to it as the virus. Okay, the nodes deal with our karma, Rahu and Ketu. Where the nodes are in your chart is really says what you desire to come in and do in this lifetime. And so the nodes are where we experience the most obstacles, but where we can also experience the most opportunity. And you may have heard that opportunity often comes cloaked in an obstacle. And so I do kind of adhere to that. I do think that that's quite likely. And that in those areas where Rahu shows where we will probably need to put forth the most effort. Okay, so Rahu represents what we came strongly wanting, and it represents material desires. Ketu represents the past and past lifetimes. And so you can see we've probably lived, thousands of lifetimes. And so we know, we have a knowledge with Ketu, even though we may not remember it. So over the next year and a half, Rahu will be in the sign of Taurus. And Taurus is an earth sign, and it is a sign of material wealth and accumulation. So we'll see some really unusual approaches to everything from business to the arts to relationships. I mean, this is across the board that we're going to see these very unusual approaches, most assuredly to relationships. Look to the house that Taurus represents in your chart. This is where you are going to become really innovative. You really have something unusual out of the box to create, because Taurus is a creative sign. It's ruled by Venus. Venus is our creative power. And so you'll have opportunities to be inventive. Right now in this technology, digital age that we have really been catapulted into and over the last year. it is really going to be those people, I feel, who move the planet. Specifically, I'm talking to healers who know how to use the power of the mind to transform and to create a beautiful planet and a beautiful world. So you'll notice that with Ketu and Scorpio, this will bring an interest in the occult. And when I say occult, that word simply means secret. Okay, and so it will promote the energy of hidden knowledge, and a lot has been hidden from us. And there are many ways to heal that are alternative ways that really promote mind-body energy. And so a lot of this knowledge has been kept from us, and I believe that a lot of this knowledge will start to come forth. So psychic powers, the powers of discernment, perception, are operating at an extraordinary level with Ketu and Scorpio. Remember, Scorpio is the most profound sign of the zodiac, and also the most misunderstood one. So there is a lot of power in this sign, and especially with Ketu there. Your intuition is your inner GPS. It's your inner guidance system. And so we don't pay attention to that. And when we do, we get off our path, because, as I said, it is your instincts, your intuition is your emotional guidance system. So you want to pay very close attention to your intuitive powers over this time. And let me just say, Mars rules Scorpio. Remember, again, I go back to here, to the head, okay? Mars has incredible power. Okay, the last one is Saturn turns direct September 29th. Saturn retrograded May 12th. So you see, Saturn and Jupiter, very powerful planets, have both been retrograde since the middle of May. Both are now turning direct. And Saturn currently transits through the sign of Capricorn, a sign it rules. And this is the planet of restriction. This is the planet of discipline. And so we have these, with Saturn, boundaries are set in place, right? And we certainly have experienced that. And so remember that Saturn rules locks and lockdowns. And certainly through the summer, the lockdown became even more, we saw it even more become stronger as they were wanting people to remain isolated. Saturn is a planet of isolation and restriction. So Saturn in its own sign, excuse me, of Capricorn represents large corporations. I'll give you an example. Amazon, Google, Facebook, the government, FBI, CIA, DOJ, all of these are very large organizations, large corporations. And so Saturn in this sign really withholds. Remember, retrograde is internal. And so it withholds what these organizations represent, which overall we would say information. And we've seen this with news, media, and information. So as Saturn moves stationary direct on September 29th, it has extraordinary energy. And this continues throughout the month of October because it's only at that 1 degree of Capricorn moving forward. So you see it's just getting up its speed. So this continues through the entire month of October into early November, which of course brings us to our election month. Saturn rules the signs of Capricorn and Aquarius. And so these signs will feel Saturn's energy. When a planet rules your sign and it moves direct, you feel it. You will feel the energy, and it feels better to you because it feels like the blocks are removed. It feels like you can now move forward. And so this is what Saturn represents for every sign, for all of us in actuality, is that we can start to see blocks being removed from whatever you have wanted. Maybe it's with your career, because Saturn in the natural zodiac does rule our careers. So you may begin to see light here in what you're wanting to accomplish. So Saturn and Jupiter's direct motion will help all signs greatly. Okay, I hope you find this video helpful. Thanks so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Namaste.